Okay. Now, how do we paraphrase? First of all, we know that to paraphrase means to say the same thing but in different words. So how do I do this? How do I say the same thing in different words? I either describe the word, give its meaning, or give its synonym. These are basically the two easiest ways of paraphrasing. I give the meaning of the word, I describe the word, or I give a synonym of the word. Of course, we know synonym means the same in meaning or nearest in meaning. Okay, so if I'm able to do either of these two, I would have been able to paraphrase a giving sentence or giving word from a passage. Now, here it says, use synonyms where you can, or at least change the order of the word where it is not possible to use different ones. Your paraphrase should not be any longer. This is where I'm aiming. This is what I'm aiming at. Your paraphrase should not be any longer than the original phrases, and preferably a little more concise. In other words, summarized. To make something concise is to make it smaller, to shorten it, to compress it, to summarize it. Okay? So, when you're paraphrasing, don't make it longer than the original sentence or the original text. And where you're not able to find a synonym for the word, try to rearrange the word order. Okay? For example, if it was something in the active voice, you could write it in the passive voice. This is another way. When you say rearranging word order, if in the comprehension it were in the active voice, in your answer, you could switch it into a passive voice. If in the comprehension passage you were in a direct speech, in your answer you could switch it into an indirect speech. Okay, this is what we mean by switching the word order. Now, another important thing for you to note in answering comprehension questions is that your answers must be in full sentences. For example, this puts a lot of you in trouble when it comes to quizzes and exams. The teacher asks a question. Why did so and so person do so and so? And you just say he was sick. No. Mr. So and so did so and so because he was sick. Okay, just to avoid confusion there, I'm going to be more specific. Now, my comprehension question says, why did Kenzie go on a vacation? Why did Kenzie go on a vacation? This is my question based on the comprehension passage I've given. Now, someone says, because she wanted to relax, or because she wanted to sightsee. No. Now, here it's saying answer in full sentences. So you'd begin like this. Kenzie went on a vacation, or she went on a vacation because she wanted to sightsee. She went on a vacation because she wanted to relax. You see there, instead of just going straight or beginning with because, I've given a proper introduction to my answer. I've written my answer in a full sentence. Now it says, answer in full sentences beginning with the writer, blah, 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 and blah, or this happens because this second example here could pass for the illustration I just gave. Kenzie went for a vacation because this happens because, okay? So now it says, according to the way the question is phrased. Another key point is sometimes comprehension is tested by being, pardon me please, sometimes comprehension is tested by your being asked to select words from the passage which show something. We come across questions like this a lot in our progress monitor, where it asks, most of the times it asks questions like provide evidence from the text. I don't know if you remember. You should remember. Provide evidence from the text. The writer has done so and so. Why? Back up your answer with evidence from the text. Now, it's something like this, where you're being asked to select words from the passage to show something. then you may answer by quoting phrases from the passage. If I'm asked to show evidence in my answer from the passage, the best way to show evidence is to, you see, in such situations, the teacher usually does something like this. According to the passage, or in the passage, the writer said, you open quotation, you lift your evidence from the passage. In other words, this time you're allowed to photocopy because you're quoting. When you quote, you say exactly what the person said. So when you're lifting the evidence, you quote it. Quotation open, you lift the evidence. And when you're done, you close quotation. Now, in such a situation, if your evidence covers, say, a whole paragraph, it's not going to be very reasonable or sensible for you to quote the whole paragraph. You look for the key words, the key phrases, and then you cover up the rest with ellipses. Do you understand? So, if, for example, I just want to state the beginning of what the person said. In the passage, the writer said, for example, global warming is becoming a dangerous trend. And there's something else after that, but I don't want to include it in my answer. So once I say global warming is becoming a dangerous trend, I fill up the rest with ellipses. Instead of copying exactly what's in the passage, I just put dot, 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 or full stop, full stop, full stop, and then quotation close. All right, now it says, then you may answer by quoting phrases from the passage. Use inverted commas to show your answer is in quotation. And then this is just an extra key point. So this is basically all I have to say about answering comprehension passages. A quick recap. Comprehension means understanding. And for me to show understanding, I need to put what I've understood in my own words. And for me to put in my own words, I need to have a collection of words, which is my vocabulary. Okay? And now, how do I put in my own words? I paraphrase. For me to paraphrase, I use synonyms, or I describe the word, I define the word, okay? And now, when I'm paraphrasing, my paraphrase shouldn't be longer than the original sentence or the original word, phrase. If possible, I should make it shorter. I should make it concise. I should summarize it, okay? And then, if the comprehension question has asked me to provide evidence or to use the writer's word to show something from the passage, if the comprehension question has asked me to show something from the passage, in other words, it's asking me to provide evidence, and in such a situation, you're allowed to copy and paste. When you're copying and pasting, it's just a section of your answer, and that section of your answer should be in quotation marks, showing that you've copied this exactly the way it is in the passage. Okay, now after this, I want you to you're going to answer exercises 3 and 4, questions 3 and 4 in your copybooks. Okay, this is as a way of practicing to see if you've understood the key point here on answering comprehension passages. And also, that should be questions 2, 3, and 4, please. Okay, answer questions 2, 3, and 4. Questions 2, 3, and 4 have relationship with text 7a. All right, so get to work. Good luck.